Yeah, sir. So actually, I wanted to have a very important conversation with you. Uh, it's basically regarding the entire uh, the like I am currently in a mess. I can say that because the mess of confusions, what is right, what is wrong, the belief system. Like I can give an example how this got started. So, for example, I did various observations, and from that I came to conclusion that yeah, I am a restlessness. But it is just like that. I saw what really was. I created an abstraction that I am a restlessness, and then I worked over it. I basically started conceptualizing, and I said what Vedanta speaks, that you are a restlessness. It's a constant thing that you are a restlessness 24 hours, which is not which I don't see it as a fact, because I have only seen that in few instances. And so there are various things which I just see ki, those are not facts for me, but rather just a logical understanding has been made. Not that it is not something which I can see that yes, it is for sure, it is true. I don't care if it is any ideologically, if it is wrong or what, it is true for me. So like this, the entire model collapse. The various things, all of it collapse. So that's the biggest problem for me, and this happens quite
When you were seeing that you are not a restlessness, then you were seeing that you are not restless, or you were not seeing.
I was not seeing all this. Yeah.
If you're not seeing, how can you see that you are not restless? It's
No, I
like
don't.
it's like I tell you that there is somebody inside that house, and you have to see through the window, and you look through the window only 5 times a day, and then you infer that the fellow is in there only 5 times a day. Were you not seeing restlessness, or were you not seeing at all?
Yeah, I was not seeing at all. Yeah, true.
So how can you infer anything then?
But sir, when you say that, okay, I am a, like the entire model of Vedant, people just accept it. Nobody is actually seeing 24 hours and actually confirming it.
Nobody is asking you to accept anything. But from your honest observation, what you can say is 5 out of 5 times when I saw restlessness. So 100% of my observations tell me I am restless. Fair enough? No beliefs involved.
Yeah.
That's it.
That does not, like, that is just 5 times.
Make it 8, make it 20, make it 40. Come on, disprove it. It will remain 100%. That's my assertion. Hypothesis. You disprove it. Watch yourself, look through that window, and quote a single instance when you do not see that man inside, the restless man. Instead, you are positing that just because you are not seeing, the man is not there. That doesn't stand to reason.
Yeah, the positing was wrong. I saying that I'm not a restlessness. That statement is wrong. I should say that I'm doubtful if I'm a restlessness or
No, you're not even doubtful. You have not seen at all. You have no reasons even to doubt. You are blank.
how.
5 out of 5 times you saw restlessness. Beyond the 5th time, you didn't see anything at all.
Yeah.
So, what assertion can you make?
I can say that, okay, it's my inability to see.
So that is right. So then that inability has to be addressed.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. So, but sir, like what the mistake was that on the basis of just the 5 watchings, the 5 times that I watched, I took this assumption that the boy is inside that room.
No. Due to some self-interest, what you are saying is, even though my sample space is 5, and all 5 samples are pointing at the same thing, yet due to some self-interest, I still want to believe that there is nobody inside. 100% of your observations are yielding the same result, yet you want to side with an unproven possibility. What does this tell about your inner judge? It's like this. I bring 100 boxes to you, and I say there is something inside the box. That's my hypothesis. And of all the 100 boxes that you open or unbox, that little thing is found inside. And still you say, no, I want to claim that there is nothing inside the box. What does that tell about the quality of the judge? Is the judge not biased?
I'm still like, I cannot see, like if you stick to that boy wala example, and I see that 5 times the boy is in the room.
Right.
But how does that prove that the entire day the boy?
How does that prove the contrary also? Even if there is some ground to prove anything, the proof goes in the direction of somebody being inside. I understand it is not yet because the sample size is small, just 5. You cannot still absolutely claim that the man is inside 24 hours. That is understood. Very right, logical. But I want to question this questioner. Even though all his 5 observations are proving the same thing, why does he want to believe to the contrary? What self-interest does he have? I'll tell you his self-interest. When you look at the ego and find restlessness, then what is proven to the ego is that you are not the Atma. The ego fights back. The ego says, you know what? Your observations were ill-timed. You caught me red-handed at just the wrong moments. You should have come after an appointment. You should have watched me after due intimation. And then you would have seen that I am restful because I am Atma. That's the central greed and desire and mission of the ego, to prove that it is indeed restful as it is. I am all right. Though it is not. But it wants to keep proving that I am okay. If it accepts that it is not okay, it will have to own the responsibility for genuine change. And responsibility, as we know, is tough. It wants to shirk that responsibility. Therefore, it comes up with all kinds of obnoxious arguments. Otherwise, see, let's say there are 10,000 moments in the day. Let's say.
Yeah.
You watch yourself for 9999 moments. All the time, every single instance, you find yourself restless. You still, going by your logic, have ground to say, I might not be restless because one particular moment I didn't watch myself. Maybe I was not restless then. And if that is going to be the logic, then you know what you will do? You will ensure that there is one moment per day that is spent unwatched. Because that one moment per day unwatched will enable you to claim that you are restful. You will say, see, I watched 9,999 only. There was one moment I didn't watch. And in that one moment, I was very peaceful. So that proves that the ego is peace itself. Therefore, I am Atma. That is the logic. And that one moment, I tell you, you will never watch. That is purposeful. As if...
You have to take a leap of faith. That
there is no leap of faith in this, bhai. There is just a reasonable thing to say. You see, anything that you consume comes to you after testing. Any edible food item, for example. There's something in it. It came to me not just straight from the factory. From there it goes to a quality auditor who checks it. He cannot check every single molecule of every item that is coming to you. How does he check it? Sampling. It is a matter of life and death. Yet man trusts sampling because sampling is random. And random sampling provides a great confidence level. Confidence is a mathematical term. 99.5% confidence level, 99.85% confidence level, depending on the sample size. So if I observe myself 40 times a day and every time I am restless, then I have a 99.85% reason to believe that yes, I am indeed restless.
But so like we can never come into an absolute uh, conclusion, like never.
Don't come into an absolute conclusion. Believe it 99.85% times. You can remain cynical 0.1.5%. That's okay.
Can I start a bit more because I have some sequential doubts in the entire understanding. So like if I start with the very beginning, so I would say that because I'm well-being, so I'm able to inquire into the entire thing. If I won't be physically all right, I won't even able to be inquiring. So when I inquire, I see that I have dispassion towards various objects in the universe, be it the one I'm already related with or the one whom I'm not unrelated. This is key. Yeah, the dispassion is there. So with this dispassion creates a very big confusion then what to do, because there is no as such purpose, because purpose is instantaneous. You have a purpose key, okay, do this, and you're just doing this. By this, I'm suddenly coming into a center that okay, now what to do, what has to be done and all that. But the fact is ki I'm inquiring with you, but at the same time there's a very strong flow which will ultimately take me to uh, behosh actions which are unconsciously happening. It will happen. It's not like that I can control action. It's not that key if I don't do this discussion with you, the actions won't happen. The actions will happen, the thinking will happen. But the point is that I don't quite understand. I don't quite uh, I don't I see that those actions does not make sense to me, as if something is wrong. I don't know what is right and wrong. The entire fundamentals are somehow shaking, which were established earlier, and that's why I'm quite confused. And I can also see that there is a huge amount of suffering in various objects that I'm related to, and hence there is this one more. Like I can see that I am currently standing into two demands. First is that I want a sufferingless life. I don't want suffering in those objects, and secondly, I want a understanding which is established over facts and not theoretical assumptions and all that, because uh, all of that in the past has created a lot of ruckus in my life, because I create beliefs and assumptions that yeah, this is true, and then it falls apart, leading to all the decisions falling. So this takes me to a journey. Either I do it completely on my own, or I take external help. So because the suffering is quite huge, so I choose external help. And for that,
Not that you are choosing external, you are choosing external help along with the suffering. You are driving a car, eh? And using the inbuilt audio system of the car, what you call as the infotainment system. You are communicating with me, right? Even as you are communicating with me, you are still driving the car towards the same destination. You are the one doing both the things. There is a clear choice involved. Stop the car, get out. It is not necessary to talk to me while being in the car. Being in the car is a choice. No current is carrying you away. There is pleasure in being carried away. Pleasure is always something determined by you. No pleasure is absolute. All pleasures get their value from the pleasure seeker. The same thing that appears pleasurable to one is discarded by the other. Therefore, pleasure is not something that can carry you away on its own. You accord value to the pleasure. You can also withdraw value from the pleasure. Withdraw value from the pleasure. Stop the car, get down, sit by a rock, below a shady tree. Keep speaking to me. things might change. Otherwise, nothing changes. With or without this conversation, the car is carrying you towards the same place, same speed. And a lot of people do that. I speak to them, I know where they are coming from. I know once the conversation is done, they will go the self same way. They have as if just stopped by to have a little break, a little bit of an entertaining change. It's a decision. It's a choice.
But sir, this inquiry is not happening in the flow, because the flow is not like, okay, I am choosing the flow. Like, honestly, I am choosing the flow. It's not that the flow is taking me away. I am choosing it because of my.
You are according value to the flow, and that value is misinformed. That which you are valuing does not intrinsically deserve value. Because you do not know, hence you are taking it as valuable, like a man being robbed of his money by somebody who is selling fake gems. You do not know what a real diamond looks like. Somebody is fobbing off some ordinary stone. But you are according the value of a real diamond to that ordinary thing. As long as that value estimation stands, you will keep going with the flow. Sometimes I advise people, go completely with the flow. Flow away. Then you will know what value lies in the place the flow is leading you to. It is the top gutter of the city. That's where the flow will take you. Find yourself in the greatest septic tank possible. And then you will realize what going with the flow means. Well, sometimes I get tired, my human limits. And then I let people go. You please go with the flow. I'll enjoy seeing you in your septic tank. And not to you, sir. I'm coming from my general experience. Just realize it might appear that way. No. But that's something that you should tell yourself. You should not wait to hear it from me. Ask yourself, how do you favor going with the flow when you do not know what the flow is taking you to? How do you favor? Like somebody flowing in a river and the river is coming to a fall. Seen those waterfalls? Merrily flowing. And just before a waterfall, a cascade, the river is quite shallow. So you do not fear drowning. No fear of drowning, no fear of drowning. Chill. And then bhap. But all this is just my words, maybe my experience, maybe what my observations. You have to figure it out for yourself.
But this is exactly what I was saying, that you just put it more honestly. I was not saying that, I was saying that the flow is taking me. You said it quite brutally that yes, I am choosing the flow.
No, nothing takes anybody anywhere, sir. Nothing. All pretense of helplessness is exactly that.
Yeah.
A dishonest pretense.
Yeah, acting.
We all are such wicked creatures. We feign helplessness just to extort pleasure. We cannot even be honest enough to say that I am a pleasure seeker, therefore I am doing all those things. We say, I just fell into pleasure helplessly. Why didn't you come in time? Oh, I just crashed on the bed. Why didn't you crash on hot burning coal? Why do you ever crash only on your bed? Why don't you crash on the commode? All your helplessness results in pleasure. Have you never seen that? All your assumptions lead to pleasure. All your dishonesties lead to pleasure. So everything is just for the sake of pleasure. If somebody comes and says, I'm helpless, just figure out where the pleasure is and you will know the dishonesty. Someone comes and says it happened despite me. I didn't know, it just happens. Just see where the pleasure is. The pleasure is what you should seek out. You were supposed to come to me at this time. Why didn't you come? Because I assumed you are not there. If you had to assume, you could have as well assumed that I am there. But all your assumptions are towards the side of your pleasure. All assumptions, if you figure out, you will see there is pleasure in the assumptions. Why did you keep this thing hidden? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, I assumed you already knew. Why didn't you assume I didn't know? Because one assumption helps your pleasure.
So, sir, this inquiry wasn't happening this way, like from 2 or 3.
Inquiry is nothing. What do you mean by inquiry? Inquiry is not investigation or third degree interrogation. Inquiry is just honesty. It's happening within you. You just know it. Inquiry is something that happens on its own. Your job is to not to obstruct it. Inquiry is simple knowing. It's happening. You know it's happening. Don't you know when your bladder is full? Or do you need to inquire?
But like a lot of control has to be made to basically even think over such things. Like,
you don't have to think over these things. These things are there. Thinking impedes the observation. You just have to see directly, openly, as it is, without thinking. It is obvious. The fellow is lying. It's obvious. What's there to be thought of? I am lying. It's obvious. I want to sleep. So a lot of supportive thoughts start coming. It's obvious why those thoughts are coming, where they're coming from. I want to sleep. I want to sleep. So, I'm not right now thinking that, this big thing is such a energy drainer and it's coming from some damn power plant, maybe coal fired. So it is amounting to climate change. For the sake of climate change, let's all go to sleep. The fact is, I just want to sleep. Climate change has nothing to do with it. And I should be the first one, probably the only one, to clearly know where all my arguments are coming from. I'm a liar. I just want to sleep. And man, the beast that he is, does not want many things beyond all this. Sleep, sex, security, food. Whatsoever you are saying or doing is for the sake of only these 4-5 things. Even the richest person on the planet ever, whatsoever he is doing only for these things, nothing else. The argument might be coming from a very sublime place. The fellow might be a great philosopher. So the argument might be put in the most eloquent and sophisticated way possible. But still, the whole thing amounts to only this: sleep, sex, food, security, and the other kind of nonsense. That's all.
sir, but how are you okay, I saw a fact for me, but how can I say that this is a fact for others as well?
You don't need to think of others. The others are much the same as you are if you observe them. But To observe others, first of all, you must have your own eyes that observe with honesty. So observe yourself first. Even if others are to be observed, that will be with your eyes, right? So these have to be cleaned up. Honesty, honesty. Rob yourself, strip yourself down of any pretense of respectability. We should know we are all just bastards, that's all. Full stop. All the time we are lying to ourselves, cheating on our own life, depriving ourselves of what we deserve to be, and yet we strut as if we are somebody. Have you not seen all the respectable ones? How with puffed chests they prance around. We are just little pieces of shit, moving around for a few years and then we drop dead. Full stop.
But so the seers of Vedanta, like,
Let's not talk of them. Let's not talk of them. Let's talk of ourselves the way we are. So you must understand, we must take care of climate change. Therefore, it is time to close the session. Otherwise, so much carbon is being released into the atmosphere. The gases from our elementary canal, they carry carbon dioxide, even methane. More than one of our friends from the audience have been farting. So this session is amounting to climate disaster. We'll all go to sleep now to save the planet. That's the kind of bullshit we are. Liars, deceivers, betrayers of our own destiny.
yes, sir, that's it.